When Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania finally arrives early next year, we will be introduced to the first live-action iteration of Kang the Conqueror. Kang, who has had his heart set on the conquest of the multiverse and the annihilation of entire timelines. While we got to see He Who Remains in the season finale of Loki, this will be the first malevolent variant of Kang who will pose a direct threat as the primary antagonist of a feature-length film. Since the launch of the trailer, we have been left to wonder exactly why Kang is in the quantum realm, and many have been led to believe that Kang is actually trapped here, a theory which we covered already, and we recommend you check out that video. Recently, however, one prevalent theory has come to light that suggests that there is actually more than one Kang present in the quantum realm during the time of Quantumania, and we might actually see two or more iterations interact with not only Ant-Man, but with each other as well, giving us a glimpse at the conflict between various Kangs. So, stick with us today, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, and let's assess the likelihood of this happening, the possibility that Kang will actually have two variants in Quantumania, and the evidence that might support this idea. First off, there are a few points of interest in the trailer to discuss, one of which is Kang's line to Ant-Man. Kang states that he can buy Scott Lang more time if he helps him, and this is most likely referring to Scott tracking down Kang's time chair, as several leaks have since claimed. What's interesting here though is that Kang alludes to an external threat originating from somewhere else, something that is closing in on Scott and his friends that isn't Kang himself. Some have claimed that Scott's body is incompatible with the atmosphere of the quantum realm, and he is destined to be deformed or ultimately killed here, which explains the unraveling of the Ant-Man suit in the trailer, but this doesn't really make a lot of sense upon further scrutiny. The primary reason why this simply doesn't fit is because Janet survived down here for 30 years without any adverse side effects. Whether he is holding off Krylar or his forces or some other threat, this offer seems to be strangely benevolent on behalf of Kang, as if Kang truly does want to help, albeit at a cost. Let's first address the first obvious implication, that being that Scott simply doesn't know Kang's motivations, and doesn't know that he wants to conquer timelines, but also, this doesn't make a lot of sense either. First off, Janet seems to know just how dangerous Kang is, and if the leaks are to be believed, then he will be holding Cassie hostage and forcing Scott to steal back his time chair. It seems as if Janet will warn Scott ahead of time, and he will understand that Kang is a force to be reckoned with before they ever meet formally. So he will likely know that Kang is a threat before meeting him. So then, why would this be framed as if it was an offer if Kang so clearly has all of the cards? Why does Scott get a choice in the matter, and why is Kang offering something in return for his help? One potential possibility is that this isn't actually the primary variant of Kang who is holding Cassie hostage, and if we look at it in this new light, it seems to make much more sense. Instead of this being the malicious Kang, imagine the scene plays out the same way. Instead, Kang already has gotten a hold of Cassie and is holding her captive, forcing Scott to do his bidding when he meets another Kang. Of course he is skeptical, seeing as he knows Kang is not pure of heart, but this Kang instead makes him an offer, suggesting that he can buy Ant-Man more time to find Cassie and help him escape if he helps this variant with something unrelated. The lesser of two evils, the lesser of the two Kangs. One possibility is that if Scott gives this Kang the time chair instead of the evil Kang, then he will reward Scott for his loyalty by helping him get Cassie back, and this would showcase the first conflict between two Kangs that we'll see in the MCU, as they are not always allies. In fact, very seldom they are. We know that Scott is severely outmatched by Kang, and stands little to no chance of defeating him on his own, indicating that he might need assistance. And who better to assist against a Kang than a Kang variant himself? If this puts Scott between two unideal situations, then it might force him to choose which Kang he gives the chair to, one who is holding Cassie, or one who can help him get Cassie back, and stands a more likely chance of letting the two live. So then, if this is to be believed, then how would this make sense within the context of the story, and why are there multiple Kangs here? We will be the first to admit that evidence for this theory is rather sparse, but there are a few interesting details to point out within the trailer itself. In our aforementioned video, we explore the possibility that the quantum realm acts as a sort of nexus point for several Kangs to travel throughout the multiverse. The essential crux of this theory is that the quantum realm is the primary method of transportation throughout the multiverse, meaning that the Kangs routinely come and go as they venture across different timelines in a sort of superhighway. This would mean that it's not unreasonable to conclude that multiple Kangs will participate in the events of Quantumania, and there are a few visual cues that might allude to this as well. In the trailer, there are three distinct shots of Kang the Conqueror. one wherein he converses with Scott and makes his offer, one where he is handling what we believe to be the Light of Century sphere, and finally, his full uniform shot. In the latter of these two, his robes seem to have a distinct leathery appearance, as if it is made of some sort of hide or thick fabric. When he speaks with Scott, however, he has a notably different uniform. Not only does the purple armor appear to be much thicker, but the green below his shoulder appears to be made of a plastic or metal material. Additionally, he has a long flowing cape or robe which is not present in the other shots. While this doesn't outright confirm that this is a different Kang and is a small piece of evidence to suggest this theory, it is an interesting detail to at least call attention to nonetheless. It seems as if this plastic is some sort of combat armor, built for battle in the heat of war, and it makes sense that Kang would have this. If he does, however, then why isn't he wearing it while handling the Light of Century sphere? It appears as if Kang is loading it into some sort of device, potentially even the time chair itself. And if this is the case, then it's likely that this shot will take place towards the end of the film as the final conflict comes to a head. If this is the case and battle is imminent, then why wouldn't he be equipped for war, unless of course this is the natural attire for this specific variant, who is actually a distinct individual, and a different Kang from the other shots that we see in the trailer. Could there actually be two warring Kangs in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? And if there are, which of the two will ultimately come out on top and face them in the Kang dynasty, if either of them do? But anyway, my friends, what do you think of this theory? Do you think that there will be multiple Kangs in Quantumania? And if so, how do you think Scott will handle this? And what will the ramifications be of the future of the multiverse? On a side note, we're actually having a big sale on the Marvel merch page, where you can get t-shirts, hoodies, and much more up to 40% off for the holiday season. And if you use code WAVE at checkout, you can also get an additional 15% off your entire order. So be sure to check that out in the description down below if you're interested. As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching the channel. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and I hope that you're having a great day.